welcome to H5C in your community. As always, I'm Dr. Vanessa Rodriguez with my wonderful co-host over here, Dr. Wolf. Say hi.
Hello, hello.
And today we have an amazing guest, Miss Kim Miller-Hershon, and she is going to be talking about, well, she's also known as the Queen of Productivity, so we're going to get to know.
That's one hell of a title.
I'll tell you.
I like that a lot.
We're going to get to know all about what Miss Kim does and just learn a lot of good tips, as we always do at your H5C in your community. So how was your weekend, Miss Kim?
It was awesome. I was a weekend warrior this weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I did a 5-mile hike, and I'm living to regret it.
And that was at the Lafayette Reservoir,
The
right?
Lafayette Reservoir, right? I did the upper rim trail. Yeah. Just for anybody out there, it's very hilly.
Yeah, be
I mean,
prepared.
we've been hearing a lot about that, too, so we got to go check that out.
Yeah.
We do. It's just a nice way to get back to nature and kind of center yourself. And I mean,
It's
the weather's
beautiful.
always nice up here, so.
Yeah, and it is
Can't complain.
it is extraordinarily beautiful. And being up high, you really get a beautiful view of the Diablo Valley, as well as it's just pretty around there.
It's good. Kind of cool to be up, be kind of away from the madness.
Yeah.
And then you can come back.
Yeah, pick and choose your madness.
Right.
What about you, Dr. Vanessa?
Well, I had a fantastic weekend.
Yes, you did.
I was going to throw it in his face a little bit more, but I got to go to Luke Bryan concert on Friday, and I'm a big country music fan. Which my mom always says she doesn't know where her country girl comes from because she's all rock and roll. But I loved that, and then I went wine tasting also up in Healdsburg and did an amazing, there's a winery, shout out to Sapphire Hill Winery out in Healdsburg, but they did an amazing wine and food pairing class. It was probably about 2 hours, and there was about like 10 of us. We were all just talking, laughing, and the owners of this winery just love to cook too, and they make all the pairings themselves as serve the wine, and it's just very cozy, delicious. Really, literally the best. They had a tomato bisque I've ever had. So
Man, she was sending me all these pictures and stuff. Like, next serving, next serving. I'm like,
I was throwing it in his face a little bit.
I know, I made some like old dish I would make in college. I mean,
Mac and
from
cheese.
the from the box, right? What box was it in?
Yep, hot dog salad. Don't ask me.
Oh, he's had it before.
Yeah, I mean, mine was pretty chill while she was out, enjoying. I was pretty much working, just being in the office and, trying to stay productive.
Good.
Queen.
Yes, Your Majesty.
No, but it was cool. It was cool to be in the office on Sunday to just get ready for the week. And just a lot of stuff going on. So be able to stay prepped and ready and, kind of anticipate the curveballs of the week was good. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that ties in really well to what our article of the week is. And I found this on entrepreneurmagazine.com, and this is 7 steps to becoming an expert in your field. And we all love what we do, and everybody's business is completely different, but it's really about, A, knowing how to be an expert and really knowing how to share that expertise in a way that's really going to reach the most people and be effective, right?
Oh, yeah, that's how you're going to stand out.
Yeah.
To be the expert.
So this was written by Brian Horn, and it is 7 tips. So, Dr. Wolf, get us started on the first one.
So the first one is to become an advocate and an educator for your customers. So an advocate, believe in your product, believe in your message, and try and spread it out as much as possible and educate people. Most of the time, you got a message, people don't know what you do, so it takes an educational process because most of the time, it took you a while to figure it out too.
Right.
And be productive.
Well, yeah, you took a while to learn your craft or your field, whatever it may be, so being able to share it is obviously going to be the best way to spread the knowledge. So definitely become an advocate and an educator. Number 2 is micro-specialize. And this really makes sense. It's hard to be everything for everybody, right? And there's, with your expertise in time management and productivity is that you got to really focus on what you love about what you do and what you're good at, so then you can really promote that and be even better.
Right.
You see this a lot in the networking groups you go to, and they ask, okay, who's your ideal client? That's the big question. Say, well, anyone could use my services. And it's like, okay, I don't know.
Right. I don't know who anybody is.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
When I teach about marketing, I am always talking about your niche will make you rich. And it's really true is that the people who are meant to find you will find you outside of that niche, and you just need to focus in. And also, too, we want business to be fun. So that's the problem with working with everybody, is that you attract a lot of people that you don't necessarily want to work with,
Yeah.
right?
And it speeds up the process too. If they know that you specialize, if you're a chiropractor specializing in pediatrics, you know, they know what they're going to go for. They know what you're going to talk about, and it speeds up the process.
Right, and somebody can always say, oh, well, do you work with adults too, right?
Right. Exactly.
So it doesn't exclude.
So number 3 is write articles, news sites, and profession publications. You know, everything is just building collateral. So if they see, I mean, you got YouTube channels, you have newspaper articles, you have newsletters that go out. All this
Blogs these days,
yeah,
like
all
everything.
of it just creates that cloud for yourself, and you're constantly reminding them. You know, was it 8 times? It takes 8 times before someone actually remembers your product or what you say or your message.
Right.
You know?
And it works, works on how you communicate your own message too. So that's good. And I mean, number 4 is write a book using a problem solution format. So again, your service, your product, your business will provide something for your customer or client or whoever it may be. So just explaining that. And I think you're writing a book currently. I saw Miss Kim.
And the title, I read it again correctly. Divorce your clock. Divorce your clock. Tell us about the title.
Well, it really came about from my philosophy around time management, which is that when we really, time management in and of itself is a misnomer, because we talk about managing time and yet we can't actually manage time. There's 24 hours a day for every human being on this earth, so it's like taking time out of your own control, whereas if you divorce your clock and really take responsibility for your own productivity, now we have a conversation to have.
Right.
And that's what the book is about.
That's one of those big things. Is time management, work, family, profession. And I've been starting to hear more about that sort of mindset. It's like it's just a kind of a shift. You're not managing time. You just got to be more productive.
Right, and well, here's the thing. You have to manage yourself. I mean,
Right.
That's what it really comes down to, because as opposed to that being a scary thing, I think that's where all your power is. When you have it in your own control, now you can really affect the outcomes that you can expect for yourself.
Well, that's awesome. We'll keep an eye out for it. Number 5 is just start speaking. So, what they say, public speaking is probably the most scary thing, the most feared event.
Above death.
Yeah, above death, which is pretty insane if you think about it. But I mean, yeah, like talking to one person can definitely help create your business and spread the word. But when you talk to 20, 30, 40, 50 people, even if it's 2 people, it's more time worth your money. Again, making time work for you rather it's the opposite.
Right.
The easiest way to get your product, your message out there is to speak one-on-one, one-to-many.
Right. And if you have a fear, Toastmasters is a great way to practice and get over that in a very cost-efficient way.
So moving on to the 6th one is get interviewed on a radio show or podcast. Speaking of.
Sounds like a good idea.
Wow, we got an entrepreneur right here. This just all fits.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a lot of fun, and the internet is the growing thing, so it's definitely becoming more popular. Before we get to the last one, we're going to take our first quick break, and we'll recap those tips, and then we'll get more into Miss Kim Miller-Herson and learn all about how to become a queen of productivity with her. We'll see you guys in a second.
¿Pensando en regresar a la escuela? Descubre las posibilidades que te ofrece la Universidad John F. Kennedy, que celebra 50 años de transformar vidas y comunidades.
Puedes completar tu título de licenciatura en negocios, estudios jurídicos, salud pública, periodismo y psicología, o tus estudios de posgrado. Tenemos becas y ayuda financiera para que apliques este verano y otoño. Contamos con asesores de admisión que hablan español y están disponibles para guiarle a través del proceso de tu solicitud.
Para más información visita www.jfku.edu o llame al 1-800-696-5358. ¿Necesitas asesoramiento con respecto a un caso de inmigración? Nos especializamos en todas las áreas del derecho migratorio. ¿Quieres conseguir tu estadía legal en el país? Solo hay una cosa por hacer. Llama al 415-777-4445. www.kpblawyers.com. Son tus abogados de confianza. Llama al 415-777-4445. Con oficinas en San José, San Francisco, Walnut Creek, Santa Rosa, Napa, Ukiah y Sacramento.
Are you in deportation proceedings? Do you have a friend in jail facing deportation? If the answer is yes, we will find the best avenue for you to obtain legal status in the United States. Contact Karosky, Purvis, and Bogue at 415-777-4445 or www.kpblawyers.com.
Welcome back to H5C in the community. I'm Dr. Tommy Wolf, along with Dr. Vanessa Rodriguez, and this is TV Fusion Latina.
TV Fusion Latina.
Coming back with you. All right, today we got Kim Miller-Hershon here. She is a productivity expert. Our clients call her the Queen of Productivity, which I freaking love.
Yeah, I want to be a queen of something. That's awesome.
She runs 2 successful businesses, coaching, consulting small to medium-sized businesses on growth and productivity, where she is specifically focused on sales, marketing, and time management, designs websites and mobile apps for small businesses, which is really cool. I wouldn't think of small business has mobile apps either.
Yeah, it's a really emerging market.
Right on, right on. Well, just to recap on the 7 steps to becoming an expert in your field. Number 1 was become an advocate and an educator. 2 is micro-specialize, so know your niche, right? What'd you say? Your niche will make
you rich.
I like that.
Yes, that's sexy right there. Write articles for news sites and professional publications. You can write a book, start speaking, get interviewed on radio and podcasts like the Queen of Productivity is right now. All right, and the 7th one, Dr. Vanessa?
Is use trust triggers, and really all those things that we just mentioned as far as the speaking, using the podcast, writing publications. It's really just a way to help generate trust with the people that you're trying to reach without literally having maybe to go meet every single person that you're out advertising to, or and just a credibility sense, right? And it's an easier way for you to build that quicker trust with the client if they know that, you know, you're just not some Joe Smo off the street, you know, trying to give them something or sell them something.
Yeah, and see what works for you. I mean, you write an article. I mean, post everywhere, right? If you write a book, put that on your website. I wrote a book. You know, this is stuff. If you get TV interviews, radio podcasts, put it on. It just reuse what you've already done. It's just like, you know, build more trust.
And for the most part, it can help you stand out too from your competition. Like maybe you're in a sea. With us, with chiropractors that are on every corner, but it's really about, again, making what's different about
you.
What
do you do? How are you different? And do we like it?
Yeah. So speaking of, do we like it?
Do we like it? I like it.
We love Kim, and we're so excited to have her here. And just, Kim, why don't you tell everybody just what your background is and what makes you expert on time management, how you even got started in something like that? That's a
Sure.
big task, I could imagine.
Well, I think there are some experts who are just naturally good at their area of expertise,
Sure.
and I am not that person. so I actually really have become an expert in productivity because it's something, time management is something that I have always struggled with. So I sort of have these two things, right? Like, so I've always been super productive and super chaotic.
Sure.
Both at-
Organized mess.
Right, an organized mess. And so really, I think what that's done for me, and also really my ability to share, is that listen, if all it took was just to read the 5 steps and implement them, everybody would have everything that they want, because we all have access to that material. We'd read it, we'd implement it, and boom, it would happen. So there's clearly a gap between what's written and what we know and what we have the ability to implement. And I think the last thing that I would say, and this really is just, it's so important for everybody, but really how I came to really want to be able to share this with people is this, that it can be very discouraging when you read the book, you get stuck on a step, let's say step 3, and then you just give up on your dreams.
Yeah, things get overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah,
And you
that's
just feel like, okay, well, if I can't follow the system, then I can't have what the system promised. And when I looked at that, because I'm somebody who doesn't easily just follow the steps, I thought, wait a second, I'm not satisfied with that answer. It's not okay to just give up my dreams because this system doesn't fit me.
Right.
And then I thought, well, then how can I have both?
Right.
Right? And so that's really where this comes from for me. And I think the other thing is, too, is I walk the walk. I'm always refining my systems. And as we get into this, I'm going to talk about really, this is not about me. It's not about my framework. It's not about what works for me. It is really and truly creating a customized system for yourself.
So when you say you're productive but also chaotic, what does that look like? What does that mean? Because I'm sure there's people out there who they could
Feel
be
the
more
same- yeah,
productive
feel the
than
same
they
way.
actually think, because
Right.
they're so scatterbrained.
Right. Well, here's the thing that I like particularly. For instance, somebody will say to me, "Well, Kim, my desk is a mess." Right? And your mom always told you what she tell you. Clean your room, right?
Clean your desk.
Clean your desk.
I got the nickname Messy Nessie as a child, so we don't have to go there.
Right.
She still holds
Yeah.
experience.
So here's the thing. We think that those are the things that keep us from being able to have what we want in our lives and in our businesses. So when I get my desk clean and I get all my files done, then I'll be successful. When I get my website done, then I can go find clients. When? Well, you know what, guys? That is just getting ready to get ready. And here's the thing. There is not a person in the world who hasn't been able to do business with a messy desk. I'm just saying, right? So,
It's a true story.
so we use that, really, we think that it's a necessary ingredient, and yet what it really just becomes is an impediment to actually getting what we want. So here's what I typically advise people. Listen, go out and get business and start making money. And then if, for instance, trying to find things in a messy office or a messy desk really does start to get in the way of your productivity because you're spending 20 minutes trying to find that piece of paper or that phone number or whatever,
Right.
then that's the time that you either spend a weekend and clean it up, or you hire somebody and get it done.
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, Dr. Vanessa and I, we been working with Kim for the past 2.5 months now, and we just had a very similar issue just like that. We've been working on our one-pager that really describes our business, but I mean, our personality, that's not who we are. We don't like to sit down and just do that sort of writing, for what it is. But it just had to be, it just came to it as like, you know what, let's just go out and get the business first. Let's start making calls and let's start doing it. And now we got meetings set up, and you know what, I mean, that one pager will get done when it needs to, but that's really not our forte. I'd rather pay someone to do it, to tell you the truth.
And you summed it up perfectly. Is we really got to figure out what works for you and how to be productive in what your traits or your strengths are, because most of those books are to work on your weaknesses, which you definitely want to be aware of and know that you have them and work through them. But you don't want to focus your entire business outline on things that you're not good at, because it just doesn't make any sense.
It does not make
It
any
makes
sense.
it so much harder.
One of the things too is that you get how people. I mean, some people are good at it. Some people are not. Who have their schedule. They have their templated schedule. Like every morning I do this. Every at 10 o'clock I do this. I have shift. I do this. And I mean, I got caught up thinking, well, is it that easy? It's just okay to block time, and then I'm supposed to do this. But it worked for some. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you got your own philosophy on time management and to be productive. How would you express that?
So I'm going to say that the first most important thing that you need to do if you want to change your productivity is you need to understand your own relationship to time. And it's really very simple. How long does it take you to do things? That's really, I know that it sounds so simple, but listen to me. Spend a week or two at that 30,000 foot view just observing how long it takes you to do things. It will be gold, absolute gold for you. Because here's what ends up happening. See, people make these to-do lists all the time. And they and they, right, and they can be a mile long. And what happens is, there's a lot of satisfaction on checking the things off the list. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. But here's what's interesting about it is that most everybody that I know ends up at the end of the day, they never get everything checked off their list or crossed out, and they never have the feeling that they've gotten
Of accomplishment. Yeah.
everything that they wanted to accomplish. So I'm not an advocate. I am an advocate of making a list, but here's the key. You need to understand how long things take you to do, and you should honestly never have a list anymore that does not also have the time next to it. How long is it going to take you to do each thing?
I heard a great quote, and it was saying how frustration comes from. I'm going to butcher this quote, but it pretty much said frustration comes from having unrealistic time frames on what you're supposed to do.
There you go.
Because if you have a task to do, and you think you should get it done in an hour, and it takes a day, you're going to be pissed off.
Right. Well, and then the other thing that happens is that all those other things that you thought that you were going to get done don't get done. Right?
But if you thought, well, this is going to take me 2 days, and it actually took you 1 day, then you feel good about yourself.
Right. Well, and here's the other thing that I think a trap that people get into is that, so how long does it take you to go grocery shopping, for instance? Just
I can be in and out of there in 35 minutes.
Okay. So here's what we do to ourselves all the time. We say, okay, it's going to take me 35 minutes to go do the shopping. Well, you had to make some kind of list or go through your pantry or look at recipes, right? You have to figure out what you're going to buy. That took some amount of time.
You got to drive there.
You have to drive there, right? You had to go in and do that 35 minutes of shopping. And then even though when they ask you if they want you, nobody's ever taken me up on it.
They don't even offer it.
I know. What's that about? And I used to live right across the street from the store, too. I thought it was reasonable.
Yeah, customer service.
Really? So you've got to then drive home, and then you have to put those groceries away. We do this to ourselves all the time. So in our minds, this is a 35-minute task, and the reality really is it's probably an hour-and-a-half task. And so we don't put the transition time. You've got a business meeting. You may schedule the time to get there and get back to your office, but do you schedule the time to do the follow-up that you need to do after the meeting? And here's the thing. So either you do and you get less done than you thought you were going to, or you don't, and then you leave money on the table because you're not doing the follow-up that you need to. It also means there's just less time in the day than you think there is.
Yeah, so I mean, just like you said, right? You're not managing time, but you just got to be realistic.
Right.
Some of those tasks are actually 5 tasks in a row.
Right.
So it takes more of a thought process and just more realistic time.
Well, these are all great tips so far, and we're definitely looking forward to hearing more from Ms. Kim Miller-Hershon, but we're going to take our second break. Stay with us, guys. We'll see you soon.
¿Pensando en regresar a la escuela? Descubre la gama de posibilidades que te ofrece la Universidad John F. Kennedy, que celebra 50 años de transformar vidas y comunidades.
Puedes completar tu título de licenciatura en negocios, estudios jurídicos, salud pública, psicología o tus estudios de posgrado. Tenemos becas y ayuda financiera para que apliques este verano y otoño. Contamos con asesores de admisión que hablan español y están disponibles para guiarle a través del proceso de tu solicitud.
Para más información visita www.jfku.edu o llame al 1-800-696-5358. ¿Necesitas asesoramiento con respecto a un caso de inmigración? Nos especializamos en todas las áreas del derecho migratorio. ¿Quieres conseguir tu estadía legal en el país? Solo hay una cosa por hacer. Llama al 415-777-4445. www.kpblawyers.com. Son tus abogados de confianza. Llama al 415-777-4445. Con oficinas en San José, San Francisco, Walnut Creek, Santa Paucaya y Sacramento.
Are you in deportation proceedings? Do you have a friend in jail facing deportation? If the answer is yes, we will find the best avenue for you to obtain legal status in the United States. Contact Karosky, Purvis, and Bogue at 415-777-4445 or www.kpblawyers.com.
If you were ever a victim of domestic violence, robbery, or any other violent crime in the United States, and you reported it to the police, you may be eligible for a U visa.
Contact Karosky, Purvis, and Bogue at 415-777-4445 or www.kpblawyers.com.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to H5C in your community with TV Fusion Latina. I'm Dr. Vanessa Rodriguez with Dr. Tommy Wolf and our wonderful special guest, Kim Miller-Hershon.
Kim Miller-Hershon.
Who's the queen of productivity, and she's been giving us great tips on how to manage our time, manage our business, really figure out what works for us and what doesn't when it comes to time productivity, because as I'm sure as all you guys can relate, procrastination and time can just be a little overwhelming to a lot of us in getting things done in our business. So if we have to manage ourselves in terms of time, how would you do that? We were talking a little bit about having your relationship, right, with time and knowing what that is.
Right, and I really believe that you need to get more committed to what you want than to what you currently have. And listen, it doesn't mean that you're not already successful. You can just want to get to the next level. And when you are more committed to that and you can see that and you know what that looks like, then the rest of these things you will handle. Exactly, you will handle them. And Dr. Vanessa, you really said, I think, the key, which is that you really want to figure out what your strengths are. So you want to know what your relationship to time is, and then honestly, here's something that we never end up doing, which is that, listen, if I said to you, okay, so what do you not do well with time, man? You could give me a list like that, right? Like everybody can.
Right.
I don't plan well. I don't
Right.
stick to my
Right.
time. Everything takes longer than it's supposed to.
Exactly. When
But you're great at brainstorming and making the list and
Right.
that needs to be done.
Here's a list. Here, get it done. Get it done.
when I say to people, so tell me when something goes unbelievably well and it's super, what process did you go through to get that done? People are like, I don't know.
Right.
I just do it. Because those are the things that you don't have to think about. There's a lot of power, though, in understanding where your best productivity is for you, which may be different than you, and it may be different than you. I said before that I can be very all over the board and very chaotic and very all of your ducks in a row to feel comfortable to move forward. And that's just as important to understand how do you get things done well. And there's a lot of, like I said, that's really the keys to the kingdom, as opposed to what you don't do well.
And it's one of those things, too, and that's where you can kind of almost slip into the paralysis by analysis, too, right? It's just sometimes making a calendar, like, okay, I want this. I want my calendar perfect. So I can just, so
it can be done.
like in your brain, it would just be easier, right? My calendar's perfect. I just got to follow the calendar. It's simple. But
So task management, and it's called the radar formula. And will you just explain a little bit about what that means and how it could help us be a little more productive?
Sure, and I'm going to tell you what radar stands for and what each of the things are. What I want to say, again, going with customizing and the philosophy that we're talking about, that this is only meant to be a framework. You should take the pieces of it that resonate with you and work with you and mold it to what you need. But here's the basic outline. You need to record everything. So that's the R of radar. You need to record everything in one place. Especially those of you who are list makers, my favorite people who have the list by the computer and the list by the bed and the list in the office and the list in the car. It's really hard to have an understanding of everything that you need to do if your list isn't in one place.
I find it hard to throw away a list. Even if the
He
list
has
will be like a
lists
week
all over
long,
the
and
house.
it's like, you know what, I still haven't done that one thing. I don't know if I want to, it's like hard to let go.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to talk specifically.
You're special.
Yeah. That's what.
Not a great example of it.
Yeah.
You're
No. You
Great
are
case.
because it's your process. But the D in radar is going to address that specifically. So we're going to record everything in one place, and then we're going to approximate how long it's going to take us to do each one of those tasks.
So this kind of sounds like almost like an Excel sheet.
It could be.
Right.
It could be.
If you're an Exceller.
If you're an Exceller, right.
Like Excel with Excel.
So and it doesn't matter whether you do it electronically or you write it down on a pad of paper. It just has to be in one. It just has to be in one place, however that works best for you. What I'm going to say is that the other thing that I wanted to say about record, I mean everything. You have to put your errands in there. You have to put your emails in there. You have to put your phone time. So that's a really important piece to the whole thing. Everything has to be in there because a lot of times people go off list.
Right.
Going rogue.
Going rogue.
Or doing one task, think about the other task. Then
That's
you're
right.
on that task, and you think about that task. And that really slows you down.
It does. That's why everything has to be written down. Then what you're going to do is you're going to approximate how long it's going to take you to do everything. I can guarantee you I've never had a client who's added everything up and it's filled 8
In a
hours.
perfect, yeah,
Right?
perfect day.
I mean, you're probably 24 to 48 hours is typically what happens when you add everything up because you have no association with time.
Sure.
You just have, oh, well, these are just the things I need to get done. Then you have to decide. That's the D. Decide what it is that you're going to do. What I'm going to say about things that stay on your list over and over again is you've actually already decided not to do it, but you keep it on that list because it's just a little reminder, oh, you think you're hot stuff? You think you're going to get everything done? Well, look here's something on here that didn't get done, right?
Yeah, remember that one from the other list?
That's right, and you're not going to throw that away. It's just going to stick with you. So what I'm going to say to you is that what you're going to do if you're not going to do it right now is you're either going to put it on the calendar for a later date so that it doesn't keep bugging you. You're going to decide that you're not going to do it, that actually it really isn't important, and you're going to proactively take it off your list. There's a lot of power in that.
Instead of feeling guilty that you didn't do it, it's like,
Right.
no, I made a choice that that's not going to be done for, at least maybe not right this second,
Right.
maybe down in the future or something. But
Exactly. And one of my favorite things is delegate. Give it to somebody else to do, right? You really, to be productive, you really should only be doing the things that you are an expert at. One of the places in business where people oftentimes get themselves really caught is doing their own books. Doing their own books, doing their own billing. Most people are not experts at that particular thing. Now, I mean, and that's a subject for another day. You need to pay attention to your financials, but you don't need to be a QuickBooks expert.
Right, exactly.
Then you're going to apply, meaning you're going to make a decision. You know how much time you have, and you're actually going to decide and apply what you're going to do. And then
make it happen.
you're going to make it happen, right?
Quit yapping and make it happen.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I might steal that.
Go for it. It's mine.
And then the last piece you're going to repeat. In other words, you need consistency. Now, something that I really want to emphasize here when you make your list, and Dr. Tommy, you talked about it a little bit here, which is that when you're making your list, here's the thing. People oftentimes do things like they put do taxes, right, on their list.
Sure.
They put whatever, like these big, huge, do the one-pager, right? The marketing one-pager on their list. Well, you know, that's probably 50 tasks.
Right.
And so oftentimes when we have things on our list that we can't seem to get done, one thing that we need to look at is it actually a doable task? So that's something I ask myself. Everything I put on that list, is that a task that's doable in and of itself? Or does it need to be broken down further than that?
I've started to think that way too. Like sometimes you get distracted, like cleaning, right? You get distracted, oh, I'm going to clean this. And then you look like, well, I'll just clean a little more. Then you're like, okay, really, this is going to take me like 35 minutes. I don't want to invest.
Right.
This is a project right here.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not doing this right now. And then you kind of back off. Then you kind of
You
like,
can
take
keep
control.
cleaning that. You can keep doing. Don't just tell me that. But yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense that, I mean, just you get caught up in it. You don't really realize.
Right. And the one place that people often get very caught up is in their email and following links upon links upon
yeah.
links, right? We can all get lost in the internet at times and following different things. And so there's just, you know, if you really understand what your priorities are, because that's really when you're deciding, what you're saying is what is important right now. And here's my other rule. It's really, if you can stick to your plan 70 to 80% of the time, and then 20 to 30% of the time, you just throw your hands up to the universe and you just say, okay, I get it, right? Not going to happen.
80-20 rule, I like it.
That's right. Not going to happen the way I thought it was going to happen today, and you just go with it.
Yeah, because sometimes you might get a call and you're like, well, this has to be done right now. And then you almost like, but my list, but my schedule, this is not my schedule, but, you know, you got to be flexible.
Yeah.
Right.
Flexibility, yeah, that's a good.
Right, and sometimes the car breaks down, and so, you know, I mean, life happens. Right.
You want to say the other one.
I
Give
mean,
it to 'em.
We know. That's funny. Well, good. Radar. So he wrote it down. So we're going to be talking a bit more about advice on how to make our calendars maybe more organized and how we can make our calendars work for us.
This is great stuff.
Yes, right after our third break with Kim Miller-Hershon.
¿Pensando en regresar a la escuela? Descubre la gama de posibilidades que te ofrece la Universidad John F. Kennedy, que celebra 50 años de transformar vidas y comunidades.
Puedes completar tu título de licenciatura en negocios, estudios jurídicos, salud pública, periodismo y psicología, o tus estudios de posgrado. Tenemos becas y ayuda financiera para que apliques este verano y otoño. Contamos con asesores de admisión que hablan español y están disponibles para guiarle a través del proceso de tu solicitud.
Para más información visita www.jfku.edu o llame al 1-800-696-5358. ¿Necesitas asesoramiento con respecto a un caso de inmigración? Nos especializamos en todas las áreas del derecho migratorio. ¿Quieres conseguir tu estadía legal en el país? Solo hay una cosa por hacer. Llama al 415-777-4445. www.kpblawyers.com. Son tus abogados de confianza. Llama al 415-777-4445. Con oficinas en San José, San Francisco, Walnut Creek, Santa Rosa, Napa, Ukiah y Sacramento.
You in deportation proceedings? Do you have a friend facing deportation? If the answer is yes, we will find the best avenue for you to obtain legal status in the United States. Contact Karosky, Purvis, and Bogue at 415-777-4445 or www.kpblawyers.com.
Welcome back to H5C in your community. I'm Dr. Vanessa Rodriguez with Dr. Tony Wolf.
Hi.
And our wonderful guest, Kim Miller-Hershon, the Queen of Productivity, and she's been talking all about how to be the most productive, how to recognize your strengths in being productive.
She has been rocking our brains with all time management stuff.
This is Dr. Wolf's very favorite thing to talk about. So before we left, we were talking about or introducing the concept of advice around having our calendar. So we all have obviously our daily list to do, and we talked about kind of how to break those down and get the time frame down. But as far as our calendars are as a whole, how would you kind of help us through that?
So I have, again, sort of a different philosophy maybe than most people. I think that you actually need to use what works for you. So if a paper calendar works better for you, you need to stick with a paper calendar. If an electronic calendar works for you, electronic calendar is what I would go with. What I do mostly suggest is that you use one calendar. Mm-hmm. So those of you who are using two different kinds of calendars, or you have a work calendar and a personal calendar, or you can't, somehow they don't sync together, that's typically not a good thing. And here's what I'm going to say to you. You know, I have a client who literally, I kid you not, uses 3 calendars. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. But here's the thing, you know what? It works for her. So here's the things you want to...
3 calendars, like is it one electronic, one pocket?
Well, you know what? It's not, she's got work stuff on one calendar, she's got kid stuff on another calendar, and I can't even remember what, I think she had work stuff on 2 different calendars. Like, that would make me nuts.
Right.
Here's what you need to think about. Do you miss appointments? Right? Do you show up late for things? Do you feel like you're not moving forward quick enough in your business? If those things are issues for you, then you need to look at your calendar and see, what do I need to do to change things? Do I need alerts on my calendar so that I'm not missing appointments? Do I need to set them for the day before or for half an hour before? Do I need to set 2 alerts? Whatever that looks like for you. If that's not your issue, then don't change it just because somebody said you can be more productive if you do it this way.
One of the other things, too, is if you don't know if you like the writing down calendars or the electronic calendars, try it out for a week, 2 weeks, then, assess it.
Yeah, there's
I think that'd be one of the things that we forget about is actually making like a sort of time commitment to one sort of task and then actually analyze it and see if it's working. Right. We just kind of do a electronic calendar. We don't like something about it, then we jump to this. Then we don't like something about that, we jump, and we don't really get a good assessment of what actually is working.
I love that. And again, what you really have to understand is your own relationship to time, and frankly, what are you trying to achieve? Right? So some of it is about, listen, you can't achieve the big things if you're not doing the small steps to get you there.
Sure.
At the end of the day, though, you have to know what you want specifically. You can always be flexible and change how you go about getting it, and you can always change your goals. But if you just know somehow that you want more business and you don't even know what more looks like, it's pretty hard to go out there and get it. Right?
There's also some workers, business owners who want to get paid very well, but they just don't want to work.
Well, let me know how that. Let me know how that goes. Yeah.
So for something like that, you just got to find something that's enjoyable.
That's right.
Kind of sidestep, but
No,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's just so. Let's say we're sitting down Sunday night, we're getting our week ready to go. Do you have any tips on how to make our calendars or how to fill in?
Like, what is that preparation for the week? Calendar, 15, 20 minutes. I mean, it drags on, right? Sometimes.
Right.
What would you say that would look like in a productive way?
So what I'm going to say is, and this is so unbelievably important, is that you really need, you need to plan, period, okay? There isn't anybody who makes it without having any kind of plan, right? Now,
It's the law of attraction. If I think about it hard.
Okay, just sit on your couch and let me know how that's working for you.
Douglas, borrow a couch? I can't afford a couch. So.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And listen, I actually am a huge fan of the law of attraction, and I think there's a lot of activity that happens to make things happen for you. And part of that really has to do with understanding your own rhythms, when you have the most energy. One of the things that I like to do personally is I go out early on Sunday morning and I go exercise, and then I go to a coffee shop and I do my planning for the week. And that works for me.
And that's because some people think, at the end of the day, I'll do the planning, but what if you're just tired at the end of the day?
Right.
That's right.
Because you said an important thing that people don't really think about is the energy cycles of the day, which is different for everybody, but it's literally physiologically, you yourself you're high at sometimes and then you're calm at sometimes, but sometimes we think that in order to be productive, we got to be high all the time.
Right.
But it's not realistic.
Right.
Yeah,
and different kinds of work is going to work for you at different times. Let me throw out, though, one suggestion. And this actually comes from the work of David Allen, who's done a lot of work on productivity. And that is when you finish a task, and because we all do a lot of different things during the day, that you write down for yourself, what is the next thing I need to do? So what is the next step? And I think for some people, they lose a lot of productivity in transitions. Transitions are hard for a lot of people. If you, on all of your important things, know what the next step is, you're not losing time getting back into it. So what I'm going to say is, planning can be done at lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is that we need to be checking in often. The last suggestion that I'm going to give you is that if you tend to be somebody who gets really caught up in the minutia, in the busyness of life, and it's harder for you to stay connected to what your purpose is. And why do you need to stay connected to that? Because it's about the priorities and about the things that you use your time on to make sure that they really are moving you forward. Sometimes what I'll do is when I do my weekly plan, I'll pick either 1 or 2 or 3 specific things that I am going to work on that week.
Right.
Sort of bigger objectives. The other thing is sometimes I just give myself a quote or a phrase, and what I do is I make it a repeating all-day event on my, because I have an iPhone and I use that calendar.
Sure.
So I have it come up every single day, so I know exactly what my focus is for that week. And I find that really helpful.
Gives you a boost.
Gives you a boost, and it also keeps you focused and intentional.
Check-in, yeah. Because you can slip out of those transition times. Those will gobble up your day.
Right.
You just I'm just gonna check out my Facebook.
Right.
Who's that? Oh, I like that. Then you just get into
Yeah,
like. Then you're like,
then you're not productive
holy
at all.
crap, that was 20 minutes.
That's
20
right.
minutes, 30 minutes.
That was awesome. I know we're going to go home with some new tips that we haven't learned before. I hope you guys all did too. Kim, is there maybe a website or an email address if anybody ever has questions for you on how to be more productive? They could.
How do they get a hold of the queen?
How do they get
a hold of the queen? Gosh, and I forgot my tiara today.
Yeah.
So the website is www.kimmillerhershon.com. Kim, K-I-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, Hershon, H-E-R-S-H-O-N, kimmillerhershon.com. And my email is just kim@kimmillerhershon.com, so that's a great way to get a hold of me.
Great. Well, we had so much fun. We hope you did too. And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it.
We're in the presence of royalty.
We are. It's been great. So before we go on our last break, we're going to come back with the upcoming events that we have in H5C in your community. And again, thank you, Kim, for having us. We'll be right back.
Has no measure. Your passion is your treasure. Don't forget this notion.
¿Pensando en regresar a la escuela? Descubre la gama de posibilidades que te ofrece la Universidad John F. Kennedy, que celebra 50 años de transformar vidas y comunidades.
Puedes completar tu título de licenciatura en negocios, estudios jurídicos, salud pública, periodismo y psicología, o tus estudios de posgrado. Tenemos becas y ayuda financiera para que apliques este verano y otoño. Contamos con asesores de admisión que hablan español y están disponibles para guiarle a través del proceso de tu solicitud.
Para más información visita www.jfku.edu o llame al 1-800-696-5358. ¿Necesitas asesoramiento con respecto a un caso de inmigración? Nos especializamos en todas las áreas del derecho migratorio. ¿Quieres conseguir tu estadía legal en el país? Solo hay una cosa por hacer. Llama al 415-777-4445. www.kpblawyers.com. Son tus abogados de confianza. Llama al 415-777-4445. Con oficinas en San José, San Francisco, Walnut Creek, Santa Rosa, Napa, Ukiah y Sacramento.
Are you in deportation proceedings? Do you have a friend in jail facing deportation? If the answer is yes, we will find the best avenue for you to obtain legal status in the United States. Contact Karosky, Purvis, and Bogue at 415-777-4445 or www.kpblawyers.com.
Welcome back to H5C in the community. I'm Dr. Tommy Wolf along with Dr. Vanessa Rodriguez, and this is TVFusionLatina.com. We also get a shout out to all of our listeners out there in Richmond, Concord, San Francisco, LA, Cerrito, Hayward, places in Walnut Creek. Shoot, we're going to go international with Chile, Brazil, Mexico, and Spain.
All the best places. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, so a couple events coming up. Let's see, this weekend there's a fall fest at El Monte Elementary School. The New Health Chiropractic Center will be there.
We will be there.
Absolutely, doing health screenings, scoliosis checks for the kids, and yeah, that should be a fun time. It's from 11 to 2. The address is 1400 Dina Ave in Concord. So go and check that out.
Come say hi. Yeah.
Come say hi and shoot us a smile.
We also have. So the Hispanic Chamber is having their annual member appreciation huge party. It's awesome. It's actually this Wednesday. Party time. This Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Shell headquarters in Martinez. And they're going to have a lot of fun stuff. TV Fusion Latina is going to be there. We're going to be doing some interviews with the members there. Have a lot of fun. I mean, it's food, wine, raffles. We're going to be live broadcasting. So. Make sure you tune in for that, too.
I was in for this one last year, but I heard it was cracking.
Yeah.
And I'm not missing it this year.
Which means it's supposed to be really fun.
And what was the time frame again?
It's from 5:30 to 7:30, and you can go to h5c.org to find the details. And that is this Wednesday, the 22nd of October. So we're really looking forward to that.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Make it easy.
And we'll be talking about the Giants games, too, because those are very...
Yes, game one is tonight. 5 o'clock. 5?
5:07.
5:07.
It is.
Baseball always has those funny times.
Well, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. We had a great time talking to Kim, learning all about how to be the most productive and most time efficient we can be, and we will see you guys again.
Yeah, and if you guys ever have any questions about the guests we bring on, you can also call Radio Fusion at 925, or TV Fusion, excuse me, 925-289-2371. So we're here to bring, business professionals to you guys, so we love your feedback.
All right, thank you guys. See you soon.
See ya.